Hey everyone, and welcome to one more episode of Protecting Wildlife. And today I have Annemarie from Berg with me, and she's from the organization that's called SOS Dolfijn. And why I reached out to Annemarie was because I have a contact with her for a few times now, like a little bit long time now. And the work she's doing is just important and so beautiful. And she's going out to save the dolphin rehabilitation in the center and put them free again. And today she also wants to touch a little bit about the new center she have worked on for a few years now, and she will open that center very, very soon. So that is very interesting what is happening with that. So welcome, Annemarie, to this interview.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Tell us a little bit about the organization so people know a little bit about who are you and where you're coming from.
Yes, so my name is Annemarie and I work for the SOS Dolfijn organization, and we are located in the Netherlands, and we are an organization for cetaceans. So when whales or dolphins are found stranded or somewhere along the coast that they might end up in problems, our rescue team goes on their way. We have a special ambulance that can pick up stranded animals, small stranded animals. And we were located in Harderwijk at the Dolphinarium since 2004. Dolphinarium Harderwijk has been rehabilitating porpoises and dolphins for a period of time, and we took over that activities in 2004. And in those years, we have rehabilitated many animals. So we have become a specialist in porpoise rehabilitation with very high success numbers. And we not only take in animals from the Netherlands, but we are the only center in the northern part of Europe, Northwest Europe. So we also take in animals from countries like Germany, Belgium, and France. Well, we are specialists in porpoise rehabilitation, but we are also in the Netherlands the party that goes when there's a big whale stranded, like for example a sperm whale or a humpback whale.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so and well, like you said, we are now busy opening our new center because in Harderwijk there was always this misconception that we were part of the Dolphinarium, and it was the Dolphinarium in the Netherlands is very well known. So when you say Harderwijk, everybody thinks of the Dolphinarium. So it was difficult to get those separated from each other. And this was blocking our organization and was also blocking funding. So people were thinking that when they were donating money to us, that money would go to the Dolphinarium. So therefore we had to leave that location and had to look for a new location. And so that took us about 3-4 years before we found our new location, and we are now building a complete new rescue center, a hospital for dolphins, you can say, in the northern part of the Netherlands. And we hope the building is in progress and everything's going okay. So we hope to have the center open by January next year. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, because now we cannot offer the complete rehabilitation. So our rescue team is still standby 24/7. For example, yesterday we had a live stranded porpoise who was probably a bit ill, but we couldn't take him in for rehabilitation. So we tried to bring the animal back to sea again to see if he had some chances left, but that animal died. So of course we want to take them in for rehabilitation again as soon as possible.
Amazing, and thank you for sharing. What is the 3 biggest threats you are facing in your work?
I think the animals that come in most often are the harbor porpoises, and I think we are situated at the North Sea, which is very small and shallow sea, but it's very big with traffic, and there are many windmills park being built in that area. So I think that ocean noise is in the North Sea a very important problem, and that is a large problem because humans don't see the problem of ocean noise. We see the plastic problems. That is something that we can see when we walk along the beach and we see waste stranded at the beaches. But when we are walking along the beach, we don't hear the amount of noise that animals are hearing on the water. So I think that is an important threat that we are dealing with. But also, of course, other pollutions like plastic and but also, if you look at the porpoises, they contain a lot of toxic in their bodies, because in the 80s we used a lot of products like PCBs, and that is still in our waters, and animals are still being harmed by that. So I think in our work, these are the biggest threats that we are dealing with.
How to, in these three threats you are facing your work, what is the tools you're using to deal with it in a powerful way?
Well, I think that the community is a very strong and powerful tool, because in a lot of ways we are always looking, how can things be changed? How can, if you look at the problem ocean noise, then a lot of organizations say, well, there is a problem, there are a lot of ships in the sea and they are making noise. But I think that the community can also do a lot, because we can reduce the ships. We can ask ships to slow down and reduce their noise. But I think it's also important that everybody realize that when you buy stuff, cheap stuff that is made in China, all those cheap things that we are using are all coming from countries like China and being transported with ships. So if we become aware of that and we start buying our stuff more local or even in our own country, then we can also help whales. And people don't really realize that it's an easy way to help whales.
I never think about that solution, and that is so true. Because when I buy a cheap product thing for China, I support the first step and the whole way before it's coming in my home. And as my experience, a lot of people don't have that awareness about when is the first step into make this product to come to home, like all the steps. And that is
so I think that it's very important, because we can change laws and we can have governments ask we can have shipbuilders ask if they can build the ships differently. And of course, all that is helping a lot and is very important and should be done. But we also should always look at the source of the problem. And the source of the problem is that at this moment, planet Earth is occupied with humans, and we use a lot of stuff, way too many stuff. And all that stuff we want as cheap as possible. So our meat is coming from all over the world, and we buy our plastics from all over the world. And so there's so much that we can do. And also with the plastic problem, we can, of course, we are cleaning also as SOS Dolfijn. We are organizing beach cleanups. We are participating in beach cleanups. And it's very important, because it's not only the plastic that we take from the beach, it's that the awareness that we create, because the moment people see us walking on the beaches, they realize, oh, I should be more careful and put waste in a bin and not have it somewhere around, so it can end up in sea again. So but it starts with our consuming behavior. We should really change our behavior.
Yeah, so true. It starts with to be like inspiration for others and show the way, to inspire that way instead of like with words. In my mind, and as I can see, I inspire more people when I show the action step instead of just talking. Because are you really practice what you're preaching right now in your own daily life, or just like talking big, beautiful words to me? Yeah. So it's also
that's so true. And that's why we think education is very important. So we have some education tools. We have a whole package for schools, lessons that they can do. And also we have like a traveling whale hospital that we use to go to events and stuff like that. And there we have posters and interactive games where, in a playful way, remind people of the fact that that those ships are there because they are the consumer, that plastic is there because they use it. And so we hope to get a bit more awareness and give people some tools how you can easily change this behavior.
What is the action step you're doing to inspire other people to be a part of your organization?
Well, at the moment, of course, it's a bit difficult with the whole Corona measurements and not having our own center. But in our center, there will be a very large exposition about our work and about whales and the problems that these animals are facing nowadays. And we hope that the location that we are situated is receiving nearly 300,000 visitors per year. So we hope that with that education area, we will reach out to a lot of people and connect with a lot of people and try to get a lot of people on board in our whale rescue, because everybody can participate in whale rescue. You don't have to be on the beach to actually rescue them. You can also rescue them by protecting their environment.
Good information to know that step. Like also other people say, when I talk with them, they also talk about something like, I need to be volunteer before I can help, or I get to donate money before I can help. Like there is so much other steps to do to really help. And I did not know that, like with the noises in the water, like remember where you're buying your product from, because you're supporting all the noises that is making the habits not so healthy for the dolphins to live in. I've never think about that.
If you look at your supermarket, there are a lot of people complaining that the fruit that they buy is wrapped up in plastic. And they say, it's such a waste, it's such a waste. But what choice do I have? It is in my supermarket, only wrapped in plastic. Then you're going to the wrong supermarket. Then you should skip that supermarket and go to a supermarket that doesn't wrap it up in plastic. And perhaps now that is still a bit more priceful than the cheap supermarket. But in the end, if we all do this, then we get the change. Then you have to start the wave, and then change will appear.
This is a small step that is making the big one. So if you are there, think about when you buy fruits and your vegetables. So take the things without plastic on there. You're doing a huge difference. And also buy locally, buy that coming from where you're living, instead of buy exotic fruits, because you can live healthy life with the things that is grown and coming from
a lot of local farmers have beautiful products that you can buy, and you don't have to, and it doesn't have to be wrapped up in plastic to be transported. And so that's the good thing about being the problem. You can fix the problem.
So true. When you have a challenge, there's always a solution. If you find 3 solutions, you can find 10. It's all about depending about how much you want to look in each and every corner to find the solution.
And of course, we also need to do this on a governmental level and with the corporation, because we cannot get all the people involved. So we have to do it also on a governmental level. But I think a lot of people can create a change.
So I'm very curious about you, Annemarie. Where did you find your passion for dolphins?
That is funny. In my wildest dreams, I've never think about dolphins before. It was I used to be a truck driver. That was my career. I was an international truck driver, and that was the thing that I was dreaming about since I was a child, because my father is a truck driver. And I had some people that I knew about that were helping at the SOS Dolfijn organization shortly after it was founded. And they had such a busy year with a lot of stranded animals. And they asked me, because they hadn't enough volunteers to cover all the shifts. So they asked if I could please do a night shift. So the night shift was from midnight until 8 in the morning. And so I agreed to do that. And so they gave me a short explanation on how to get on the suit and how to handle the animal. And there was this little tiny porpoise. It was completely emaciated. And I had to guide it through the water because it was so weak that he was not able to swim anymore. So you are supporting them by lifting their head out of the water so that the blowhole stays on the surface. And I could feel the heartbeat on my hand. And the only thing that I was hearing all night was this animal breathing. And he was so weak, and the breathing was very weak. And I could only feel that heart beating. And I knew that if I let go, that he would sink to the bottom of the pool and that he would drown. And I walked around with that animal all night. And I just fell in love with these animals. I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. So I changed my whole life, became a volunteer at the SOS Dolfijn organization, and changed my career so that I was free from Friday until Monday. So I could do night shifts, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And then after a few months, there was an opening. So I started working for SOS Dolfijn. And yeah, on that first night, I had no idea what a porpoise or whale was. And after that night, there was not a single day that went by that I wasn't involved with whale rescue and helping whales. And so, yeah, things can go very strange, but it's not that I was dreaming about them when I was a little girl. I wasn't the dolphin girl as some people are, but yeah, I just rolled into it. And now I'm the director of SOS Dolfijn, and I'm building a whole new center.
That is so amazing, and to see how our life can change on 1 second. Like from one thing we think, okay, this is my life, I will be a truck driver my whole life, I will just have so vulnerable living being in your hand, and you just can feel the heartbeat, and see how weak it is, and you are the savior of this animal. Is like so touching.
Yeah, it was really in that night, because also we always keep a day-night pattern for the animals, so we dim the lights at night, and so there was this really almost mystic setting, and I was walking there in well, almost in the dark with the animal, and I just completely fell in love with them, and I thought this is my path, and I have to do this. This is my journey. I want to save whales, and I want to become the Jane Goodall of the whales. I always admire Jane Goodall with all the work she has done with the animals. And, and in that night I thought, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. I want to rescue whales and help them. So, and it worked out.
Oh yeah, it's worked out. I can see that.
Yeah.
That it's just so touching to hear your story and how things just changing to get that life purpose up in 1 second. It's like, okay, I'm ready to change my life, and also be ready to make the change, to go for the things that is calling on you, like know your calling in life. That is like so beautiful, and I know that will inspire other people to really also try things, like try it out also with the dolphin. Come to your center when it's open and be a volunteer and try it out how it is, and
and it's not easy. I mean, it was a difficult road and it was difficult years, but yeah, I always believe if you want something really, and you actually want to make an effort for it, then everything is possible in life.
Everything is possible in life. For me, for my traveling, I started my journey in 2013 to traveling out to Borneo and experience volunteer for the first time. My English was so bad. I'm a dyslexic, so it takes time for me to learn new English words because my brain is working differently. And I'm just like, keep going. Yeah. And today my English is good.
It's improved a lot. It's very good at the moment. Yes, absolutely.
And also one of the things is in this process, as you have gone from truck driver to where you are director on SOS Dolfijn. I say that your organization name correctly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. There is like up and down turn and mistakes we are doing to find our way, and that is okay. This makes us stronger. For me, I have so many difficulties to talk English and find my purpose and come out there, because a lot of people judge me in my language, first of all. And the thing that is so important to remember is the animals don't care about you to be perfect, to find your life purpose in life, to find your calling in life. They need you to take some actions. right now and learn from the actions and learn from the mistakes. And I believe there's no mistakes in life, because it's just mistakes that make us stronger and more wiser and
if you look at the whale rescue, then worldwide the percentage of success of rehabilitation are 10-20%, and that was also the number of successful rescue in Harderwijk when they first started doing that.
Oh, wow.
But now we have improved, and now the rescue numbers are even up to 50%. So you only learn, you have to learn from the things that you are doing, and then it's okay to have a learning process.
Exactly. What have you done differently for come from 20 to 15? That is like a big jump, a beautiful jump.
That is a big jump. First of all, we have very good facilities, and that's why it also took us a long time to build a new center, because we didn't want to go back to having animals in somebody's swimming pool. We want to have the good facilities, so you have to have a good water supply, and the water has to be salt. It doesn't have to be seawater, but it has to be salt water. The water has to be on a stable temperature, because animals don't like the changes in the temperature. And I think what made us so good is that this is really our profession. This is what we are doing, and we have been rehabilitating a very high number of porpoises. So if you have seen one porpoise, then you have no experience yet. But if you have seen, in our situation, more than 200 porpoises, then you gain experience. So I think that's why, and of course, also very good veterinarians. That is really important. And at the Dolphinarium, we had the best veterinarians with a high knowledge of marine mammals and their diseases. So that is also very important. And with porpoises, you have to, you really have to take your time to look at the animals, because they only show so little signs of their weakness that you cannot miss them. For example, you can have an animal that is, you're feeding fish to the animal, and it can happen that in the morning you're feeding fish to that porpoise, and he's not swallowing it directly, but playing with it for just a second. That can already be a signal for us to take blood samples, change the whole treatment plan, and to know, okay, there's something really wrong because he's not swallowing his fish at once. It's so subtle, those signs. And I think that's why we have become so good, because we are not missing out all those subtle signs. We really know how to look to the porpoises, and we really know how to take care of them.
That is so beautiful. To really connect with them and really listen and see what they are showing.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of hard work, because it means that you have to be with them sometimes 24 hours a day with volunteers and employees, and have tight schedules, and really ask for a lot of commitment, but we are happy to do that.
I know, I can feel your passion and drive, and also in all our emails you are like focus and get this up and running in very short period of time. I was like amazed about it. I was like, what?
Yeah, but the last years was terrible for us, because we have the capacity and the knowledge to make them better, and now sometimes we had to euthanize animals because we simply did not have the money or the facilities to help them. And also sometimes we had to bring animals back to sea, and hoping that they could take the chance, which sometimes happens, but also with the knowledge that if you had the center, you would be able to give them even better help. So it was difficult, but just look to the future and never look back.
Yeah, keep step forward, like focus on the process you're in, step you're in.
Exactly, and we're getting there.
Oh my God, so beautiful. If I find dolphin, or the name of it's so difficult for me to say the name you're saying, the
porpoise.
Porpoise.
What's it in Denmark? I think it's Marsvin. Marsvin, yes, yeah. Good for the education. In Denmark, it's called Marsvin, so we can call it that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So if I find a marsupial in Netherlands, what do I do?
Yeah. The biggest problem we always see is that people think when they are walking along the beach and they find a dolphin or a whale, people always think, oh, it has to go back into the water and then I've rescued the animal. And then I see footage of people dragging the animal by the tail, and then I think, oh no, because when you do that, you are really destroying the animal. You are breaking all the spines and you're breaking the animal apart. So, okay, your problem is fixed. The animal's back in the water, but it's not rescue because it's probably not even able to swim anymore. But also, let's go back to why the animal was found stranded, because these are very smart animals, and it's not that often. There are some countries where animals get stranded because of rapidly tide changes. But in the North Sea area, we often see animals stranded that are just sick or emaciated because they were sick for a longer period of time. Or we see animals that have lost their mother animal. And those animals are not helped by just placing them back into sea again, because very often these animals need medical care. And most of the animals that come into our rescue center, they need 3 up to 6 months before they are completely recovered again. So if you just place them back in the sea again on the day you found it, and that animal might swim away because he has some adrenaline, because he just met a human being and thought, oh, I have to get away from that. But it's not always a rescue. So what do you need to do when you find an animal stranded? We have created 4 steps for people to remember. And the first step is to keep the blowhole secure. So the animal's breathing with the blowhole on top of the head, and no water or sand can come into the blowhole, because if water gets in, you can just compare it that you are getting water into your lungs, you will drown. And that's also for the animals. So no water inside the blowhole and no sand, because otherwise they can drown. So the other thing is rest. Dolphins and whales are very much stressed when they are on the beach. So what happens when they are found on the beach? Within no time, a lot of people get together, and people that are walking their dogs on the beach are having a look. So that is a lot of stress for these animals, which can actually kill them. They can actually die from stress. So if you handle them wrong, or talk too loud, or you have dogs in the area, they can die from stress. So first you keep the blowhole free from water, and then you give rest for the animal. So you keep other people and dogs away from the animal. So a maximum of 2 persons with the animal. And the other reason that you want to keep everybody away from the animal, because that animal is sick, and he is a marine mammal, but we are also mammals. So something that he is dealing with can end up with the humans. So you want to keep everybody at a safe distance. You don't want to get the dogs or the humans sick from that animal. So the third thing you have to do is cool the animal with water, or with wet towels, or whatever you have at the beach. Some people can take off their shirt and just keep it cool. Whales have a body temperature that is equal to you and me. So about 36 is okay. But if we as a human are in the water for a long period of time, we get cold, we get shivery. And that is because you lose a lot of temperature in the water. And the whales, they have a big blubber layer around their whole body. So they're really fat. And that fat keeps them warm inside of their body. So once they're on the beach, they can't get rid of that heat, and they actually get too warm. So you have to cool them. And you can cool them with water or with wet towels. Also, their skin is used to being in the water constantly. So being on the beach is causing damage to their skin. And then the 4th thing you have to do is call SOS Dolfijn. And why don't you have to call SOS Dolfijn immediately? Well, if the animal is with his blowhole on the water, then you can call me, but in a few seconds he will drown. And if there are a lot of people on the beach around that animal, you can call me, but then he will probably already drown from the stress. So that's why we said the 4 steps are blowhole, secure, then rest, then cooling down the animal, and then you call the emergency number of SOS Dolfijn. and we are on call 24/7, and we have an ambulance ready 24/7. And then we also have a lot of volunteers along all the coast. So we will give you some advice, and then in the meantime, we will call some of our local rescuers, and then the ambulance will be on its way, and within a few minutes there will be help.
That is crazy. It shocked me a little bit to hear don't pull the dolphin or marsupial.
This is one of the things. Yeah, this is one of the important things that we are going to do from our new rescue center. We want to have the center open for people, so they can train at our center how to provide good first aid. But sometimes you see footage of a stranded animal that has been out of the water for more than a day. There's also on the internet a footage from somewhere in, I believe it's Brazil or Venezuela, about a mother-depending humpback whale that has been stranded for over 24 hours. So there's already so much muscle damage that the animal can't survive. And I believe with all the best intentions, about 100 volunteers used a big machine to lift it into the water again, and then they put ropes at the tail and used boats to drag it into the water again. And everybody was happy because the animal, was back in the water. But what didn't made it viral in the media is that the animal drowned and was found the next day. Because everybody thought, oh, this was good news, this was whale rescue, but it wasn't rescue. The animal was mother depending, so he had no fair chances of surviving back into the water. He had already been out of the water for more than a day, so there was already a lot of internal damage. And they were towing the animal and lifting it with a forklift. So probably all his bones were broken and his whole spine was damaged. So yeah, so that's what we find really important, and that's what we want to do with our new center also. Educate people how they can help whales, but also educate other rescuers what is really whale rescue, because not always is a whale dragging back to the water a rescue situation. Sometimes it's even making the situation worse for the animal.
Wow. That is like crazy information about that, because when I saw videos on the social media, I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for the people who use so much effort to put this like dolphin, shark, whales out of the water. But when you tell me that, it's like, oh my God, I can just imagine how this is. Like also the hatchlings, getting information. The best thing to hatchling is move all the sand clear, so you can like do this down to the sea. Because if you take this little sea turtle hatchling down the water, the flipper is not, first of all, stretched out, and they have not mapped the star in the head, so they don't know where they need to go back.
When they drag dolphins, then they drag them by the tail, but that is damaging their muscle and their spine, but also their pectoral fins are going this way, and it's like it's really, but it's always with the best intentions, but it's just because people have no idea. So here in the Netherlands, we have at some locations where you enter the beaches, we have a sign at the beach that porpoise, marshfin, is living in the North Sea, so that if you are walking along the beach and you have a close look, you can sometimes even see them swimming by. But also on that sign, it says what to do, the 4 steps when you find a stranded animal. And it's very important that more people learn about that. So that's also what we do with our education.
That is a very, very important message, the 4 steps. Oh my God.
Yeah. And not every country has a complete dolphin hospital. So sometimes you have to take them back into the water, but it's not always the way that you do it can change the amount of success that it has.
Yeah.
And we think that is really important.
Yeah. What is the 4 actions, what is the 5 actions you want to give to the audience to how to change the lifestyle?
Well, I think the most important things are really stop using plastic. And that is really something that we can all do. Just stop. And if your supermarket is not helping in that way, then you are going to the wrong supermarket. So reduce your plastic, but also look at stuff that you don't really need. You don't need a straw. If you're a healthy person, you don't need a straw to drink. So stop using all that material. And so there's a lot of stuff that you can change as a consumer. But also, buy more local, buy your stuff more local, and help whales in that way. What else can we do? I have to come up with 5, right?
You can learn the 4 steps as you just sharing, like
learn the 4 steps. That's important, because then you can also help animal. And also I think if everybody would once a week or once a month do a cleanup, and if you live near the beach, do a beach cleanup. But also if you live in the city, clean up your street or clean up a part of your park, because all that litter is coming into rivers, and from rivers it's going into the oceans again. So these are all small steps that we can do. And like I said, if you are picking up litter, people that see you do it think, oh, good for her, maybe I should do that also one day. So it's just small steps, but reduce your plastics, buy more local, learn how to rescue a whale, and not by dragging it by its tail, and organize or participate in a cleanup. And I think those are perhaps the most important steps that people can do to make a little bit change.
Amazing. So to your audience, if you go back to the newsletter, there is the 5 steps and the steps from the SOS Dolphin, and these are work documents. So please, I inspire you to make it on your computer, write your note on your computer, and choose one of the steps to make it to your own. And I definitely know and believe Annemarie and her team is welcome to help you or serve you in how you can make one of the steps in your own day lifestyle if you need some support in it. So her and me, we always there for you. So please reach out. It's so important to make the commitment on the information you get. So thank you so much. The last thing, Annemarie, you want to give to the audience, if there is something less you want to say, you have the chance to say it now.
Wow. Well, I think it's very important that never underestimate the change that you can make by yourself, because all those little changes that we are making are creating a big wave of changes. And never think that wherever you are on this planet, never think that I live in a big city and I'm all by myself in my room with my computer. Every little change you make can change the world. So I think that is the most important thing that I want to share with everybody who's watching.
Beautiful. And thank you so much, Annemarie, for being here. And thank you so much to you out there. Thank you so much for your time and your willingness to make a change, a big change in the world, and inspire other people to make small change when you go out grocery, when you're on the streets, when you're on the beach, how you can be a better version of yourself through the small steps. So thank you so much, Annemarie. It has been a blessing, and I'm so grateful for a so pretty face and have you here in this particular wildlife summit.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And of course, when you're ever in the Netherlands, you should visit our new center.
Definitely. It's very close to Denmark, so definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have an amazing day.
Keep up the good work. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye.